Every shadow hinted at secrets no one dared speak aloud. Something in the morning air whispered that danger was near. Under polished floors, alliances trembled, unseen and unheard.
Every gear turned toward destruction, yet no one noticed the warning.
Even the rails seemed to tremble with anticipation of what was coming.
Every neatly folded bandage concealed horrors yet to unfold.
Lines drawn on maps hinted at lives soon to unravel.
Young feet rehearsed destruction, unaware of what awaited.
Messages traveled swiftly, but wisdom often lagged behind. Even in beauty, the air hummed with hidden danger.
One small hand could ignite a world entire.
Every alley held a story, waiting to erupt.
Practice sharpened skills that would soon kill unseen. Every tap carried urgency, but the world barely noticed. Patterns emerged that few minds dared to follow. Voices grew loud, hinting at conflicts brewing beneath. Every shell stocked promised the roar of future battles. Rails became veins, ready to carry the lifeblood of war. And in Sarajevo, fate crept quietly toward ignition. History waited silently as one hand held destiny.
History waited silently as tension gripped the city.
A sudden shock rippled through the city, hinting at upheaval. Rails groaned under the weight of preparations yet unseen.
Every message carried consequences yet to unfold.
Patterns slowly emerged, hinting at the coming storm. Voices rose, hinting at unrest soon to erupt. Supplies gathered quietly, foreshadowing the battles to come. Rails became silent conduits for the coming storm. Silence lingered, broken only by anxious whispers. Orders inked quietly would shape the fate of nations. Every meticulous preparation hinted at challenges ahead.
Every carriage carried cargo that would soon converge.
Every prepared kit awaited the unknown ahead. Every message sped toward an uncertain future. Patterns hinted at events yet to unfold.
Rising voices foreshadowed a brewing storm. Supplies moved silently, awaiting the call to action. Rails carried preparations toward the inevitable storm. Notices revealed a world shifting faster than expected. Even familial streets felt charged with new tension. Steel giants stirred as nations prepared their reach. Decisions formed quietly inside rooms few ever saw.
The storm outside mirrored the uncertainty within.
Lines on paper hinted at looming realities. Journeys began that no one truly understood. Rural silence gave way to organized movement. Rumors spread faster than anyone could confirm.
Movement quickened as uncertainty tightened its grip.
Frontiers waited quietly for what approached. Across nations, decisions grew heavier each hour. Roots formed, carrying consequences no one foresaw. Even the mountains felt uneasy beneath gathering momentum.
Industries awakened, preparing for demands yet unknown.
Messages traveled faster than decisions could catch up. Cities reshaped themselves, bracing for uncertainty. Roads filled slowly, leading toward unknown fates. Tensions grew sharper as borders tightened. Each new report hinted at pressures escalating. Tracks shook beneath a continent preparing to mobilize. Resources were gathered with a precision born from urgency. Signals raced across wires, carrying warnings faster than footsteps. Lines on a map began to shift with a new tension. Words pressed onto paper carried weight far beyond their ink. Public notices sparked unease that spread faster than news itself. Even simple transports felt heavier under rising uncertainty. Across oceans, preparations whispered of shifting tides. Dates loomed with meaning only a few understood. Across quiet landscapes, movement carried a silent question. What comes next? Information bottlenecked as signals became increasingly urgent. Factories rumbled with a new, unsettled rhythm. Supplies accumulated in volumes too large to ignore. Even remote routes felt the pressure of coming change. Decisions solidified quietly, far from public view.
Behind closed doors, Discussions thickened with unspoken fears.
Signals shifted from routine to urgent without warning. Messages now traveled with unmatched haste.
A storm gathered above, mirroring the unrest below.
A single transmission hinted that the quiet days were ending. Borders stiffened, becoming thresholds of quiet suspicion.
Messages grew harder to read and harder to ignore.
Supplies moved in secrecy, each crate suggesting purpose. Temporary shelters formed patterns, hinting at long-term intentions. Preparations grew meticulous, as if precision could prevent escalation. Urgent messages traveled by any means that could outrun doubt. Public word spread quickly, even when few knew their true weight. Directions were chosen carefully, though none felt certain.
Storage rooms filled with objects whose purpose invited speculation.
Across silent fields, signals whispered decisions being made elsewhere.
Objects were carried with care, as if they held quiet consequences. Even isolated places felt the shift in the air. Records accumulated quietly, hinting at a future not yet spoken. Machines awakened with a rhythm that felt increasingly deliberate.
Warning revealed outlines that raised more questions than answers.
In workshops, quiet innovations hinted at coming change.
Journeys took on new urgency as routes grew uncertain. Behind closed doors, silence spoke louder than explanations. Every corner seemed to echo with accelerating purpose.
In hidden spaces, decisions shifted like whispers in the dark.
Simple tents became spaces where quiet decisions began forming. Signals flew rapidly, each carrying layered meaning. Supplies accumulated faster than explanations could keep pace. Across broad plains, movement continued without pause. Documents awaited signatures that would shape distant borders.
Stations shifted from travel routes to lifelines.
Manuals resurfaced, studied for reasons few would confirm.
Roads filled with motion, each direction hinting at uncertainty.
Even small tools reacted to the tension around them.
Workshops hummed steadily, their purpose unspoken yet clear.
Messages pulsed through cables with growing urgency. Routes became steeper, as if reflecting the times. Depots filled quicker than anyone dared acknowledge. Bundles were secured tightly, prepared for long travel. Lines on maps multiplied, tracing paths not yet taken.
Harbors awakened, receiving cargo meant for distant places.
Records grew thicker, capturing movement across vast routes. Through forests, movement carried a whisper of anticipation. Materials gathered quickly, as if chosen for unknown tasks. Even rivers grew busier, carrying unseen responsibilities. Time felt measured, each second hinting at change. From afar, movements looked small, yet carried vast implications. Rain softened the ground, but not the momentum. Dry roads carried constant motion, never slowing. Even subtle tremors suggested growing activity. Resources accumulated in quantities rarely seen before. Tents multiplied, forming temporary cities of anticipation.
Instruments were calibrated with growing urgency. Even fields were harvested differently, guided by shifting needs.
New paths extended into regions rarely approached. Mornings felt colder, as though bracing for change. Quiet settlements watched movement grow heavier. Boxes bore symbols few recognized, yet everyone noticed. Rail lines expanded quickly, faster than expected.
Tracks marked places where activity intensified.
Resources gathered in quantities no season required. Machines were refined with unparalleled attention. Bridges became arteries, carrying motion non-stop.
Storage filled to extremes, signaling preparations beyond normal cycles.
Quiet landscapes felt heavier, as though waiting. Storage yards swelled with items rarely explained aloud. New directions appeared, though few knew where they led. Even instruments seemed unsettled by the shifting world. Endless movement hinted at intentions unspoken. Coastal storage grew busier, fed by restless tides.
Coded pages multiplied, each masking deeper meaning.
Time seemed to grind forward with deliberate weight. Docks filled with goods, few dared question. Outposts pulsed with relentless, encrypted chatter.
Forest paths saw more movement than stories revealed.
Sealed messages piled up, each heavy with implications. Rivers became silent corridors for unseen exchanges.
Tracks hinted at movements more frequent than usual.
Large forms lay hidden, their uses quietly assumed.
Every second felt poised, as if anticipating change.
Signals stretched across land, linking distant intentions. Storage expanded until shelves could bear no more.
Watchpoints multiplied, each keeping silent vigil.
Notes captured moments too uncertain for full sentences. Yards filled faster than officials could account for.
Old maps resurfaced, newly relevant.
Hidden spaces filled with unfamiliar outlines.
Signals reached farther than ever before. Materials accumulated in quiet anticipation.
Order appeared, even where clarity did not. Underground spaces held more than supplies.
Signals multiplied, each marking new intentions.
Information grew thick and tangled.
Movements became patterns few dared question.
Messages arrived faster than anyone could interpret. Even remote paths felt the pressure of movement.
Preparations took shape in unmistakable patterns. Lights stayed low as tensions rose higher. Camps grew, their silhouettes stretching with purpose.
Old plans faded as new ones formed. Movement persisted even when daylight thinned. Written records thickened, heavy with implication. A continent shifted as forces aligned silently.
The world edges closer. Continue to episode 2 before history turns.